For 2,000 years, the church has been challenged by every single culture it's been in. Christians have faced cultural challenges no matter where they're at, and it's no different in the 21st century. Of course, we have some unique challenges in this day and age, from gender ideology to critical theory to expressive individualism. And yet, the goal for us is the same as it was for the first century Christians, to remain faithful to God's truth and to the gospel. And Maven exists for this purpose. Young people are being captured by our culture. And Paul warns us about this in Colossians 2:8. Do not be taken captive by the false ideas of the culture. Instead, as he says in Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so our efforts are directed at trying to equip families, parents, grandparents, church leaders, educators, and also the students themselves with a biblical worldview so that their minds are renewed with God's truth. And the result is transformation. And we started Maven 7 years ago for that purpose. Now, 7 years for an organization is a very short time. We are really just a toddler. But God has shown his favor to us, and he has brought team members, staff, volunteers, opportunities, and an army of donors to help make this a reality. And so we've been holding on in 2024 because the ministry has grown. And in 2024, our three main strategies, our virtual training, our live events, and our immersive experiences, we experience growth in all three of those areas. For our virtual training, the two key things that we do are our parent podcasts, our weekly parent podcasts that we disciple parents and leaders and grandparents and church leaders and educators. And we did more than 50 podcasts this year, covering a host of topics from a Christian worldview. In fact, I want to give you some feedback, just one bit of feedback to give you a snapshot of the kind of impact that we can have through a technology like a podcast. A lady named Wendy sent a message into us. She had been very discouraged with her Sunday school class and her kids' ministry at the church she was at. And she says, I've recently felt compelled to share with you the story of how God used your podcast to transform my thinking about kids' ministry. She listened to 2 podcast episodes in particular. Should we get rid of kids' Sunday school and how to raise expectations for kids at church? And she says that was nearly 18 months ago and everything has changed. She says, I cannot overstate how these changes have transformed our class. The kids have responded so remarkably well. It's clear to me now that what they were receiving before was not nearly challenging enough for them, so they felt no need to actually engage. Now I have up to 16 kids weekly who are all in. She says, this in turn has revolutionized how I feel about teaching my class. I absolutely love it. There's no form of ministry I enjoy more than working with these incredible image bearers of God. Just a snapshot of the impact. And think about the multiplication. Here is one teacher that we've been able to impact. And then she is now impacting 6 young lives and those families. And so we've been able to train families all across the country and even in other parts of the world. We've got messages from South Africa and New Zealand and Australia, Canada, where people are listening to the podcast. This year, we were also able to add 2 more video courses. These are comprehensive worldview courses to our website. And in 2025, we will continue the weekly podcasts. Our plans are to add 3 additional video courses that students, parents, families, youth ministries, Christian schools can all take advantage of. We also do our live events. So we have 2 speakers, myself and Aaron, and one day we'd love to grow our team of speakers. We were able to travel to 14 different states, speaking at a number of events, some of those states going to multiple times in the year. All together now in Maven's 7 short years, we've been at 29 different states. And it just gives you a little glimpse of the national impact that Maven is having. We also expanded our Maven conferences in 2024. We did 3, one in California, one in Texas. It was our second year in Texas, and then we did one in Florida. And in 2025, we will continue that with 3 conferences, California, Texas, and then we're doing a new conference in Indianapolis. And so these conferences give us an opportunity for face-to-face interaction. I mean, the virtual training is good, but it's the top of the funnel. We want to eventually get families and students, parents, leaders to a live Maven conference because that face-to-face interaction, there's just no substitute for. And so we've expanded our live events and then our immersive experiences, just the bottom of the funnel. We want to move families and students down to the immersive experiences because they are just transformative. And so we did 13, which may not sound like a lot, but when you start to peel back the layers and understand what's involved in immersive experience, they are so involved, but the investment is worth it because of the impact it has on young lives. 300 students and more than 85 different leaders who went on an immersive experience this year in 2024. Let me just give you 2 pieces of feedback. This first one comes from a high school Bible teacher, Chris. He says, the Maven Worldview immersive experience was life-changing for our students. Best transformational mission experience out there. And the best part is that it sticks with students far beyond the week of the mission. It becomes a lifestyle. And then this was from a parent named Sean. His kids have been on immersive experiences. His oldest son is about to get married, and he says this, with Levi's pending engagement in marriage, we've had lots of conversations and reflection on his life. The influence of Maven in shaping his worldview as a young man has been critical in making him the wise, godly young man that he is. Thank you so much for your ministry and your family investment in Levi and all our boys. And so it gives you a glimpse of the potential for life change in these immersive experiences. And in 2025, we will continue to push forward with all of these ministry activities. We will be doing our virtual training, live events, and immersive experiences throughout the coming year, expanding in each area. And with a growing ministry comes growing needs. And this is where we have been blessed with a team of donors, but we need to grow our team of donors in order to continue to grow the work of Maven. And so I would ask you to prayerfully consider supporting Maven with a year-end gift. Let me urge you to go to our homepage, maventruth.com, and there will be a banner that will pop up that says 2024 Impact Report. Click on that, and you will be able to read stories of transformation. You'll get to hear students and adults, parents, leaders sharing about the impact that the Lord has had through Maven. There will be some QR codes that you can scan and watch some video of those kinds of powerful testimonies. And you'll really get a sense of the Lord's work through the ministry. And then what I want you to do is click on the donate button in the top right-hand corner and give your best gift today to help launch Maven into 2025 as we continue to be faithful to the work that the Lord has called us to. And lastly, thank you. Thank you for your prayers, your notes of encouragement, and your generous support. Maven would not exist without you.